the crowd begins to roar. High-flying daredevils in a battle like never before. Oh yeah, from the turnbuckle to the mat, the action never stops. Talking wrestling takes you to the top. Oh yeah, feel the energy, the thunder as the crowd begins to roar. High-flying daredevils in a battle like never before. Oh yeah, from the turnbuckle to the mat, the action never stops. Talking wrestling takes you to the top. Oh yeah, talking wrestling is a war right from suplexes to body slams. We got it all inside. Get ready for excitement. That's on the show. Talking wrestling is ready to throw down. Oh yeah.
Hello and welcome in for another episode of Talking Wrestling with Pondwater and Amy. Speaking of, I couldn't do it without her, the first lady of the Arn Anderson fan club, Miss Amy Vaughn. How you doing, Amy?
Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. How about you?
Oh, doing good. I'm looking forward to. I'm cold.
Oh,
It's cold.
yes.
I'm not built for
Yes.
this.
Me neither. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm kind of built for it, but I'm not. You
What
know
kind
I
of weather
mean?
y'all getting up there? You getting snow or anything?
Oh my gosh, no snow, but it was like 11 degrees.
Ooh,
It is just, yes, just, and I think it got to 19. So, I mean, today. So, like almost doubled, but it's still just so flipping cold.
we
But
we
no, it was
dodged
nice.
we dodged the bad weather. I mean, it's cold.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
this morning it was like 19, 20 degrees.
Whew.
And it didn't get up very high today. But I mean, you look at New Orleans. New
Mm.
Orleans they're snowed. They're
Yeah,
snowed in.
yeah.
Pensacola, Florida, snow. Ocean Springs down at the beach, it's snow.
That's
Those areas
crazy.
don't normally get that.
No, could you imagine if you were on vacation there to get away from this
Oh yeah,
weather and then it started snowing on you? I'd be like, I want a refund.
but we were supposed to get some here, and it's like it hit the Mississippi River and turned and went north.
Oh, yeah.
So
Now we were out of school last week, 2 days, because of the weather, ice. You know, we're a country school, county school. And so I totally get you don't want buses out on some of these back roads, more one lane roads. You don't want to have a bus stranded somewhere with a bunch of kids on the bus. So our county tends to be very cautious, and I do appreciate that. But we
yeah,
had two
they
days.
canceled everything here, and
Yeah.
but they for no reason. I mean, it was cold, but it could have.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, so I'll be glad if this is it and we just move on. I'm ready for not warm weather. I'm never ready for warm weather to leave. You know what I'm saying? Like I always would like it to be nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not complaining about the cold because I know it's going to be warm soon enough. So, um,
I'd rather it be 95 than 25 any day. I
Yeah.
just can't do this cold weather.
well, the thing is, though, is you can always put on more clothes to get warm, but you can only take off so much.
This is true. But like for me, it's like my hands and my feet, my toes. Like once they get cold, of course, I probably have some thyroid issue to go with that. But once they get cold, it's the hardest thing to get them warmed up. It's like I just can't ever get warm back up. So
Yeah,
might just be me.
I've noticed it real bad in my fingers this year.
Uh-huh.
Uh, if my fingers don't just get cold, it hurts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've doubled up. I got gloves, and I took my hunting gloves, and
Right. You're like
that
in
work
and out of a truck all day. Oh my
well, the
Lord.
getting in and out of the truck's not the bad part. It's actually the loading of the truck in the morning.
Oh, I
So
can
from
imagine.
from 5 o'clock until 7:30.
Right.
And as long as it's not windy, it's not bad.
Yeah. Oh, that's
If
true.
but if it's windy, oh my Lord,
More tolerable. Cuts through you. That wind cut right through you.
yeah, it is what it is.
And people like
My New
Canada,
Year's resolution
whatever.
was to not get upset about things I've got no control over, and I'll assure
That's
you,
right.
I've got no control over it.
Exactly. No, you're right. 100%. And there are places, Alaska, different places that deal with this all the time. And they're probably like, "Oh, amateurs." No.
I'll tell you something else that I don't have any control over is is WWE and TNA wrestling.
I think it's really cool. What do you think?
Well, they've struck up a partnership,
Mm-hmm.
and
Do we know any details? Like, or is it just kind of, I mean, specifics? I guess maybe not details, but specifics. Do you know?
I'm going to tell you,
Okay.
they've announced a multi-year partnership.
Mm-hmm.
TNA was already using WWE's platform to broadcast. But WWE is part of TKO Holdings Group, and TNA Wrestling, one of the top wrestling brands and a subsidiary of Anthem Sports and Entertainment, announced a multi-year partnership aimed at creating unprecedented crossover opportunities from WWE and TNA programming for NXT superstars and TNA superstars. And that crossover, they've already been doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been seeing, I mean, we saw Masha Slamovic in the crowd.
Right.
We saw Joe Hendry's actually participated. Jordan Grace. There has been crossovers already with WWE and TNA.
Right.
It's just the quote here is that this historic relationship demonstrates that collaboration and competition do not have to be mutually exclusive. That was Ariel Scherner, Senior Vice President in Content and Distribution for TNA Wrestling and Anthem Sports and Entertainment. Their partnership allows TNA Wrestling brand and its incredible athletes to reach a significantly wider audience while giving WWE and NXT stars an opportunity to cross the line and gain valuable experiences. They join forces with one of the most talented rosters in professional wrestling today. The response to our collaboration over the past year has been tremendous, and both companies have benefited. But the fans have reaped the greatest rewards with the talent crossover and the working relationship. Shawn Michaels said, "We look forward to growing and evolving our partnership with TNA Wrestling and its outstanding group of athletes by creating new opportunities to further the development of our talent and elevate the viewer experience at home." Nothing but good can come from this.
True.
I mean, the NXT talent can work with the TNA talent,
Mm-hmm.
which is a little different if they're homegrown WWE.
Yeah.
The NXT talent working, I mean, the TNA talent working with the NXT talent can only help them because, being able to cross over.
Mm-hmm.
I think TNA has more to gain from this than WWE.
Sure.
I mean,
I
on
can see
paper,
that.
but it's almost like a farm system. It
Yeah.
makes TNA more attractive as to being a gateway to get into the WWE system. You know, and WWE's got their WWE ID
Right.
identified
And
talent out there. But I mean, right now, just think, we live in a world now where Tessa Blanchard works for TNA.
mm-hmm.
How about Tessa Blanchard and Charlotte Flair? Or they could tag team together, like Tully and Rick.
But do you think they'll stick strictly to NXT crossover?
Yeah, but WWE main roster talent appears on NXT. Anything's possible.
Well, I mean, that's true.
I mean,
wonder,
it's earmarked NXT, but
right.
but Masha Slamovic was introduced to the Raw crowd.
Mm-hmm.
It's either Raw or SmackDown. I think.
Okay.
The shows were. I think I saw her in the crowd with the TNA belt. May have been on SmackDown the other night.
Well, and like you said, it's just opening up wrestlers to a new fan base, a new, group of fans that maybe they hadn't thought to, they didn't know anything about these wrestlers or whatever, and gives them the opportunity for more exposure. So you could definitely see, especially, and even NXT wrestlers, that are coming in, you know, it's set up. I mean, it's to give them reps, and you know, it's everything that like the farm, you know, like you said, like the feeder system is to kind of get them reps, get them used to, you know, different styles, different types of workers, different, you know, presentations, all that stuff. Just like you said, makes everybody a little bit more well-rounded. So I mean, I'm with you. I don't see anything that, you know, that could go wrong with it. I think it's, you know, as long as the partnership stays, you know, a partnership, and we don't
And
see like, you know, TNA getting stomped every, you know, like we don't need to see that.
well, TNA is a very good product.
Yeah.
It's a very well produced show. It is a in ring, very very good product. I think it gets overlooked, but it's got a heck of a following because this past Sunday night, Genesis took place at the Curtis
Yeah.
Caldwell Center in Garland, Texas. They say
Mhm.
Dallas, it's Garland. WWE's ran that building. AEW runs that building. I've thought for years that it was a good building for wrestling. A few of my kids' their graduation ceremonies were in that building.
Cool.
And when I would go, everything's wrestling. I was like, man, this would be a great venue for wrestling.
Uh-huh.
But that venue was packed. That was packed, and the crowd was enthusiastic.
And it was a good show. Good morning, Ben. It was a good show.
So you did watch it?
I watched highlights of it.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. But I think we'll just go ahead and talk about it.
It's our topic, our main topic. Can we stay on topic? Maybe, we doubt it, but we try.
All right, TNA Genesis on January 19th of 2025 in Dallas, Texas, at the Curtis Caldwell Center. I really like the graphics they came up with for this too.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny that Dallas gets the rub as a city and it's not just TNA. WWE will say WrestleMania Dallas,
Mm-hmm.
and it's actually in Arlington.
Right.
All this stuff takes place in the suburbs, but I mean they do the same thing with Chicago, and you know, instead
right.
they're out in the suburbs, but they call it Chicago. But
right, most people probably don't associate Garland, like they're not going to know where that is, but they know where Dallas is. So
right,
you know,
same. So I didn't watch the pre-show, so we're not talking about it. But we kick us off with the X Division Championship from the System. We have Moose.
mm-hmm.
The System is Eddie Edwards, Alicia Edwards, and Brian Myers
Mm-hmm.
against Ace Austin, who, with Chris Bay's injury,
I saw
he's kind of out on his own doing solo stuff right now. Ace Austin's challenging for the X Division Championship, former X Division champion. Love Ace Austin. Had the opportunity to work with him before. I've been on a show with Moose before too. Both are tremendous athletes.
He took Ace Austin took a horrendous bump off of the side of the ring.
Yes.
Oh my God. I just like, oh, don't do that to your back.
I know.
What did Moose choke slam him? I can't remember now.
Yeah, I think it was a choke slam on the apron.
I mean, because he just went straight down and hit, flat back like it, you know. Oh my God, that was like I said, that made me hurt. But I mean, they were flipping and flying, and
I thought it was a good match.
Good match to start the event. You know, like you said, talk about really getting the crowd pumped up and getting ready.
Moose is pretty agile to be as big as he is.
He's definitely a big man. Yeah.
I mean, you see him and you kind of like at first glance, you think that he's going to be more power.
Yeah. Yeah.
and I almost thought he wasn't branded well as the X Division champion.
Uh-huh.
But no, he was great. I think that it was a good match. Great, like I said, we started out. I think it was a great way to kick off the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
the system came down. Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers at ringside. They came down to try to run a little interference. Moose ended up retaining the championship with a spike. The spear. I mean, he with a spear. And but after the match, the system kind of circled the wagons like they were going to go after Ace Austin. Then Steve Mecklin and Eric Young run down and make the save. And instead of it being a schmoz, just everybody was there.
Right.
They just kind of went into the next match, which was Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers versus Steve Mecklin and Eric Young in a tag team match.
Right.
Which I thought, oh, this is cool, because it was like action, tension, more action. And now let's just keep it. It just flowed, right? The flow was so good for the first two matches. And you know how I am about it. Make it make sense. It made perfect sense to roll into this tag team match. And
definitely.
We're 2 matches in, and I'm loving this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm absolutely loving it. I'm going to take a minute to welcome everybody in that's rolling with us in the chat tonight, watching live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. T Weave's here with us. Ben Jones, good morning from Australia. Willie Thornburn's with us. There's Willie Buck. Jason Young from Nova Scotia. We're international, baby.
Of course.
We are international. And
appreciate you all.
We thank y'all for spending some time with us tonight. The first match I didn't say for Moose and Ace Austin, that was a 3-jar affair for me.
Okay.
I thought it was good. It was really solid 3 jars. I don't have my glasses on. I tried to write big.
But
EY and Steve Macklin get the win when Macklin spikes Myers. Good tag team match. It was another 3-star. Efren's in the house. It was another 3-jar solid match. And
do you have a graphic for them, or is that the one we couldn't get?
Oh,
I just make it. Well, I knew you said there was one of them that we couldn't get.
Well, it flowed, so I wasn't thinking about flowing and pushing that arrow.
I understand.
Hey, I'm Pondwater, and what can I say?
That's right. I get it.
I got caught up talking to the audience. And then I popped for Efren, and it's just.
Then it was just. But I agree. Like that was a very that was a good match. You're right. The flow. Now, where's Scott D'Amore? Is he still with TNA, or did he do something with the NXT now? Like he's part of something. What is he doing?
I'd heard that he was going to be with NXT.
Okay,
but then I heard that wasn't a true story. So I don't honestly know.
Okay, I'm going to look that up, because I think I was under the same impression you were, because I was like, I feel like I've heard something.
But again, I thought it was just really good. And then we're going to go to the Women's Knockout Championship, the Knockouts Tag Team Championship. The team of Spitfire, Jody Threat, and Danny Luna defending against Ash and Heather by Elegance with their personal concierge. I don't know his name. He's very good on the mic, though. He's got a presence. He's supposed to annoy you, and he does a job of it.
I wasn't as enthralled with this match. I don't know. have they been doing the Dallas Cowboy? Like, is that just because where they
No,
were?
that's where they were.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I was like, I don't know.
But if y'all did, first off, I'm gonna say Dana Brooke is completely transformed.
Mm-hmm.
I would not have known that Ash by Elegance was Dana Brooke had somebody not told me.
Well, she really is the veteran of the group in this, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
as far as I can tell, I don't know. The other ones seem younger.
But
they look different. I don't know.
it was okay.
Yeah, I
wasn't. I didn't hate it. I mean, 2 in a mouthful.
Okay.
2 in a mouthful. And
See,
if y'all are unfamiliar with my jar system, a mouthful is a half. But it's but I think it set the tone. I mean, I think the positioning of this match was good because we'd gone really out of the gate with Ace and Moose.
Right.
We kept that rolling with the men's tag match. I think the ladies calmed things down a little bit.
Right.
Because the next match is the match of the night. The match of the night, match of the year, could possibly be a top 10 match in my lifetime.
Really?
I enjoyed this match. I enjoyed this match so much. Like, this will be one of those matches. Like, next year, if you ask me about Genesis 2025, oh, that's when Tessa Blanchard and Jordan Grace locked up.
That was the 4th match?
I know. I thought that was going to be the main event, but I get why it wasn't.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize it was just 4th. I agree. I agree with you. That was the match. That was some of the moves they were doing, like, it was really good. You are 100% correct. Jordan Grace, Tessa Blanchard had a fantastic match.
Efren says, seriously, how can a mouthful be a half? I don't get that. Because it's my jar rating system.
I was gonna say, I thought you were gonna say because it's my mouth.
Because if it was 2, because it'd be like this, 2 and
He's still contemplating.
Anyway.
That was 4th. I did not realize that. That's pretty interesting.
Jordan Grace, who has transformed herself.
I really like her with bangs. I really think,
she is, when I say she's a beast, I'm not saying it in a disparaging way.
No.
I mean, she's built like a brick shit house. I mean, that woman has.
But she can move. Like, some of these moves that they were doing to each other, like flippity flop. I mean, it was just the quickness and the strength you had to have to do these moves. But like, they're crawling on the top rope, they're coming in. I mean, it was a very good match. I 100% agree with you.
Excellent match.
That it was the match of the night.
If I was ever going to be tempted to go outside of the parameters that I put on my jar ratings, this match would be the one I would do that. But I'm not, because I'm not like Dave Meltzer. I'm not poontanging around with my rating system. 5 is as good as it gets, and this match was as good as it gets. Tessa Blanchard is every bit the heel that her daddy was.
Oh, yes.
She's Tully's daughter. She worked as an old school heel with the cheating. Her facials are tremendous.
Oh, yeah.
She sells. She takes the hate that the crowd's throwing at her and not letting it knock her off her game. She thrives on it. Like, hate me all you want to. Please, can I have some more?
Right.
And my Lord, I could just go on and on. That this match with the false finishes, the battling
I would like to watch it again just because there was so much in their move set sometimes that it was almost like I'm not exactly sure what they did because it was so quick, so tight, like whatever they're doing, they're like all intertwined. And, I would like to watch it again almost just to say, okay, she had her from behind. And I was, analyze it, I guess, in a sense. But now Jordan Grace is gone, right? I mean, that was her last
That's what
match
they
with
said. Yeah,
Ken.
she's gone.
If
I was
she,
honestly shocked that she didn't show up on Raw Monday night because Raw was in Dallas.
well, what if she's not? What if she's going to SmackDown?
I would think that she'd be in after going after Mommy.
Well, I do agree, but
But
why let her lose her? I hate when they do that. Like they have someone come in, go for the champion, get beat. Then what do you do? Because I mean, really, Jordan Grace is not going to come in and take it off of Mommy. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, but what I'm saying is that I do not like when they, they did that with Britt Baker whenever, what's her name was, who was it? When Britt Baker came back, who had the
Tony Storm.
So it's like, but you're not going to have a one, you know what I mean? Like you're not going to have her.
No, I didn't say that she had to come in and get a match with her immediately.
No, I know.
But coming in and
I hope they don't do that. Like I hope that's not what they do to her.
Or maybe they'll send her through Jade Cargill first. I mean, tremendous bodies.
You know what? What is going on with Jade? I mean, what are we doing? Is she? I mean,
well, she got hurt. I mean, she got jumped backstage, but she's still training. They haven't gave up on her.
No. Okay, so she's just there. She's still working out. Stuff.
I mean, last we saw her, she had been slammed into a car, on top of a car. And
that's right.
So I mean, there's going to be the who done it, who did it to her. She's going to be out for blood, and
right.
But
that will be at the. Do you think that'll be a WrestleMania?
Yeah, I think that it's going to amp up Royal Rumble WrestleMania season type stuff.
Because she'll probably
Willie Thornburn thinks that the dark horse winner of the women's Rumble is going to be Jordan Grace. There's no doubt that she's probably going to be in the Rumble again.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked to see Masha Slamovic in the Rumble as well. So, but this match, I mean, I'd hate to be anybody that had to come after this match.
Yeah.
Because this was, I mean, we jumped in here and we hit the throttle and it was 0 to 80 in 3.2 seconds, and just a great showing from both of them. And
yeah, and it was a title change. What do they call it? The title. This was for a title, right?
No. This was just a fight.
Well, why did I think she? Okay.
No, Masha Slamovic is the knockout champion.
Okay, I don't know why I thought Tessa had a. Okay, never mind.
No, this isn't a title shot.
My bad. Sorry. I, for some reason, I thought that.
But anyway, 5 jars, tremendous. Next up, we have Josh Alexander and Mike Santana in an I Quit match. It had everything you needed in an I Quit match.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I wanted to go back to Tessa real quick. I was talking about her cheating.
Mm-hmm.
She was trying, like at one point, Jordan had her, and Tessa was holding on to the turnbuckle. And I do think at that point that she was supposed to pull Tessa, and the turnbuckle was supposed to come off.
Mm.
Tessa was not able to remove the turnbuckle pad, but I could tell she was trying to. And then she went over and she pulled down another one, and she pulled down another one. And eventually the finish came because of the exposed turnbuckle pad.
Right.
I mean, they didn't give up on that story. It was so impressive that the dirtiness, the classic heel works. And it really works if you don't care about the crowd booing you.
Right.
So anyway, I wanted to circle back to that. But anyway, Josh Alexander, Mike Santana, an I Quit match. The drama of it all, Santana would not give up. Kept telling him, I'm not going to quit. Josh Alexander's the same way, but he was restrained with zip ties. He was fixing to take a curb stomp to the steel stairs. And finally he quit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was other things they were doing to him and he wouldn't quit. But faced with, he's fixing to get his face put into those stairs and not on the side of it. I mean, it would have been
right.
It would have been, because I thought he was going to do it. I was getting uncomfortable knowing that there was no way that Josh Alexander could protect himself.
Right.
Oh, so it was a good I Quit match.
Yes.
It really was. I think the crowd was tired from the match before.
Yeah.
But good showing for Mike Santana. Josh Alexander was going to leave, and then Santana said, "Wait, you said that when you'd shake my hand."
Yep.
And he got in there and he told him, "Yeah, I quit, and I also quit TNA." And he rolled out and he left.
Mm-hmm.
So Josh Alexander has quit TNA wrestling. I don't know what's next for him. He is, I mean,
Josh Alexander,
an incredible performer. Next up, we have the TNA Tag Team Championship, the Hardy Boys, defending against the Rascals. The Rascals are comprised of Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz. I've thought a lot of Trey Miguel for a long time.
I do follow Trey. I don't know his partner very well.
I was impressed.
Uh-huh.
I think Matt Hardy's in better shape than he was. I think he looked trimmed down.
What do you think about
He didn't
Jeff?
ever. I don't think he looked very healthy when he was with AEW.
Who? Matt or Jeff?
Matt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to sit here and bash Jeff, but Jeff's whatever you get that on that particular day.
Right.
I mean, good for him that he showed up ready to work.
And
pulling for that guy.
Help.
I'm pulling for that guy, but if your expectations are low, you can't never be disappointed.
True. And it's got to help that Matt's with him and you know what I mean? Like his brother's there, as in Matt, not that that's going to pull Jeff out of, but just saying that Matt can kind of control some things, at least make sure he's there, you know what I mean? Like if you're traveling or whatever together, maybe. How long the Hardy Boys, they haven't had the TNA championship very long, have they? Has it been a couple months?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
I'd forgotten that they were the tag team champions there. It was a good match. It was a Hardy Boys match.
Sure.
And it came down to the twist of fate, swanton bomb.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fun match. It's hard to believe that the Hardy Boys have been around as long as they've been around.
Right.
I mean, the first time I ever saw them in person was at WrestleMania 17.
Right.
They were at Access in the 24-hour fitness ring.
Well, I mean, Jeff and Matt were extras. Jeff was like 16. So,
yeah.
he wasn't even really legal, honestly. So,
I mean, we're talking 25 years plus.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. This was probably
the Hardys really aren't boys anymore, and the Bucks aren't that young.
That's right. This was probably a good match, like you said. From the last two that we have, were very, the stakes were high. Obviously, I guess Jordan Grace and Tessa, I guess, could be more of a grudge match. Then you had the I Quit match. And then this is more, like you said, kind of some of the aerials that were going on versus the beating the crap out of each other. Does that make sense?
And the crowd was 100% into the Hardy Boys.
Yes.
Those guys are they're still over.
Oh, heck yeah. I mean, you just can't. Yeah. I get it.
I mean,
I get it.
They performed at a high level for their fans in Dallas, and I mean that they were rocking. It was great. Next up, in a Clockwork Orange Monsters Ball type match.
Yeah.
They called it a Clockwork Orange match. Masha Slamovic defends the Knockouts Championship against Rosemary. No disrespect to either one of these ladies. That's not my thing. That's not my type of match with, I mean, thumbtacks and it was a hardcore match, and I'm not, my personal taste, I don't care for hardcore. I mean, Masha's double tough because she stood up and she had tacks all in her back. I mean, she wasn't like trying to get them out of her back and everything. She was all about, she's standing on business. Masha's double tough. I got to referee for her at the wrestling show. No, not the wrestling showcase. At GCW. At GCW in Nashville.
Oh, at Ric Flair's last match?
Right. And it was an intergender match, and it was a very believable match. And
who'd she wrestle?
I just looked this up the other night because I get this guy confused with Speedball Bailey because they're about the same size.
Now I'm trying to think. Who have you gotten confused with Speedball?
Blackwood. His last name's Blackwood.
Okay, I do not. Blackwood?
Kevin Blackwood?
Okay. Well, okay, let me look.
Anybody in the chat? Anybody in the chat? It's GCW Nashville 2022. So I'm saying, but it was a great match. And if anybody knows me, knows I don't like intergender matches. And that match, I had zero problem with. The believability was there from start to finish. They matched up well. She beat him with a submission. It looked like it hurt. So, I mean, we talked about Masha Slamovic last year when we talked about the Pro Wrestling Illustrated's top 500.
Right. You're right. It was Kevin Blackwood.
She was on the list. She was on the list like number 13 with the men. So
was this for the title?
This was for the title.
Okay.
And she retained.
Yes. Okay. And I did like how Cora Jade come out. Like I kind of like, to kind of show us where that is, where that's going to go through with NXT.
Oh, and I failed to mention in the tag team match with the Hardys that the NXT tag team champions Fraxium was there. And they came out and sat down at ringside and actually got jumped on. I mean, there was contact. So
okay.
But they're gonna defend the NXT tag team titles against the Rascals.
Interesting.
Now I don't know how the Rascals lose the Hardy Boys and get a tag team shot at NXT, but it is what it is.
However, to get them, really, how that all
it don't make sense to give the Hardy Boys a tag team shot at NXT.
No,
they're the AEW. They're the TNA tag team champions.
And I have a feel. I mean, I think it's. I don't know. Will it be interesting to see like the Matt Hardy or Jeff Hardy or even Nick, Dolph Ziggler types that used to work for WWE are not doing TNA things like.
Oh, what about AJ Francis? What about AJ Francis?
Yeah, do you think
they showed Top Dollar the door, and now he's backdoored in as AJ Francis.
But do you think that I mean, of course, you've got a full roster, so it's not like you got to start with them. But do you think those will be kind of on the back? Like, why not do Masha? You know what I mean? Like all the newer names, the younger talent versus.
Let's not forget that the guy, let's forget that the guy that probably didn't like a lot of those people is not there anymore.
Well, that's very
And
true.
the guy that loves all those people is.
True.
So
That's very true. In a lot of sense.
next up for the main event, Nick Nemeth, the artist formerly known as Dolph Ziggler, against I Believe in Joe Hendry. I want to say before we ever get started talking about this match that TNA built Joe Hendry to this point perfectly. It wasn't hot shotted, it wasn't drug out too long. It was built. It was like timpani drums, building to a crescendo. I literally thought the other night one of my favorite Elvis songs, and is American Trilogy.
Okay.
And if you haven't ever heard it, an American Trilogy, Elvis Presley, live versions are good. Just, it's, glory, glory, hallelujah. It's just, but the music and the horns, but there's one part where that timpani drum just, and it builds up, and then bam, the trumpets come in with the glory, glory, hallelujah part of the song. I thought of that when I thought about that they've built to a point, and you don't see it anymore. And both companies are guilty. Both companies are guilty of either dragging it out way too long to where you just don't care by the time you get there.
Right.
But I'm riding TNA's nuts tonight. I know it because they've done it right. And this built up to it. Joe Hendry has been around for a while.
Yeah.
But this, like Bobby Roode got over with Glorious.
Yeah.
Joe Hendry makes these fun songs and does the crazy dancing and the turning around, looking at the camera. I believe in Joe Hendry. And I mean, we all believe in Joe Hendry. And I believe Joe Hendry will be in the Royal Rumble.
Go ahead.
Sporting that belt.
That kind of makes me wonder about this pay-per-view. And in some ways, like, do you think the WWE influenced how some of these matches would go? As in, like Joe Hendry here. Like, you don't want him, you want this fight, like you said, the Royal Rumble's coming up. We're at the point now where, like, don't let Nick beat him, put the belt on him. Do you think they were having some of those kind of talks about?
No.
You don't think so?
No, I think that Tommy Dreamer's probably the most underrated booker. You look at this, you look what he's done. Tommy Dreamer is an incredible booker.
How long has he been booking for TNA? Since Scott D'Amore left?
I want to say before Scott D'Amore left. I think he's been with them for a while.
Okay. I didn't know how long he's been with them.
But Tommy Dreamer's got a mind for the business.
Well, he was.
I don't think Vince McMahon knew what he had when he had him.
Well, he was Paul Heyman's right-hand man. He probably did a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Pretty much like everybody in ECW, but he probably learned from Paul.
Tommy Dreamer.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Tommy Dreamer's going to be appearing at MPX Wrestling in the Texas Rumble.
Really?
Yes. He comes in there once or twice a year for MPX, and so shout out to our friends over at MPX and their upcoming Texas Rumble.
Man, I'm gonna be in Dallas in April. I'm definitely gonna. But the only bad thing is when I'm there, it's the week of the WrestleMania, so everybody will probably be in Vegas. So I probably won't have any shows. I know of all the weekends of all the weeks I get to go to Dallas.
MPX will run that week.
You think so? I mean,
Yeah, they run on
Friday.
Friday. They don't. I think they run on Friday nights. So
Oh, I'll be gone.
they'll do
Darn
Friday
it.
nights. I mean, they may run the Friday night instead of Saturday.
Yeah. I want to check it out. But I've just figured I'm like, great. Everybody's probably going to be like, everybody has something going on during that WrestleMania week. I mean, it's because
Yeah.
all the fans are there. I was like, that's par for the course. I get to go and it won't be able to be there.
This was a good match. This was every bit of 4 jars. I mean, I liked.
It's hard to compare anything after seeing Jordan Grace and Tessa Blanchard.
Right.
You know,
And you're gonna say, Dave, if you love this so much, why did you give it 4 instead of 5? Because they did because they did that formula that I can't stand, is where they both had to kick out of each other's finishers.
uh-huh.
They
And
both
again,
Dolph kicks out. I mean, Nick kicks out of Hendry's, and it's not a choke slam. He picks him up and he's got his hand in his chest, and it comes down. It's called standing ovation. And
okay.
at one point, Frankie Kazarian shows up with the
yes.
Call Your Shot trophy, which
yes.
is Money in the Bank. For it is what it is.
Right.
They've got a trophy. It's a loving cup. He brought it down like he was going to cash in. Nick's brother Ryan jumped the rail, but so did JBL.
I seen that.
JBL comes in, clotheslines Frankie Kazarian, turns around, clotheslines Nick Nemeth, leaves them both laying. Show up, clothesline, leave.
Yep.
He's
everywhere.
He's everywhere doing that.
Yep.
I would not be shocked to see him on AEW before sometime this year. I mean, he's been everywhere else. He's been to GCW. He's been to TNA.
OVW. He was at OVW.
OVW. He showed up at a show for Hornswoggle
mm-hmm.
and hit him with a trash can. I mean, our boy's everywhere.
Very true. And now he's on ad-free shows.
He's on ad-free shows with Mr. Briscoe. And he's also filling in for Bruce on Something to Wrestle. And I have a feeling he'll be around after Bruce gets back.
Definitely.
And he's got great stories. I'm a huge fan of JBL.
Well, and I don't know if this happened to you, but me and my husband got in the elevator with him at Waterloo. So
I had several conversations with him in Waterloo, and I met him at WrestleMania in New Orleans a few years ago. Bruce introduced me. I got a great picture of me, him, and Bruce.
Oh, cool!
And we're all three laughing. It was awesome.
Did you see where I do believe New Orleans is getting another WrestleMania?
It's rumored.
I thought I saw it come across, but maybe not.
I saw that they're in the running. I didn't know. I didn't know if it was official.
I don't know. I caught a glance. I'm having problems with my contacts, so I caught a glance of something, and maybe I shouldn't have said that out loud.
I'm not mad at it because it's 3 hours from my house, and I can drive down there for. I don't really care to go to. I don't really care to go to the show.
Right.
I mean,
I think it is.
If I got hooked up on tickets, I would go, but I'm not paying hundreds of dollars.
Right.
But if WrestleMania's in New Orleans, then I could probably go down there and get booked on several shows.
Yeah, I mean, I think it actually. I mean,
I would love it to be that close.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I like the idea of being in the stadium for it, but man, it is so nice to watch it on your own TV.
I've been to WrestleMania in the Superdome, and it's a tremendous production.
I don't know where I saw that. Just ignore it.
So anyway, Joe Hendry defeats Nick Nemeth, and he is the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Congratulations to him. I'm looking forward to. Now that he's got it. Let's see what they can do. Let's see how they can do with it.
100%.
Because the fun is in the chase, and now we're here. So let's see let's see how now's the key to see how is Joe Henry going to be as a champion.
Exactly.
I have to think that Frankie Kazarian's probably going to cash in on him. At some point, Frankie Kazarian's going to cash in on his call your shot.
How is it set up? Like you have a year, or is it? Do you know?
I don't know what I don't know what the expiration date on it is.
I don't either. I'm just curious if that, like I said, if it's kind of set up the same way, which would make sense. A year, that's real easy to figure out. You know what I mean? Like, don't say 6 months or something kind of crazy like that.
Right.
It might be a little bit harder to figure out. Maybe it was just a rumor. I thought I could have swore. Let's see what it said.
I saw that there was.
Oh, it is. It's rumor.
A consideration.
Sorry.
I mean, it goes to the highest bidder.
Yeah, front runner.
All right.
You want to do trivia or do you want to do movies?
Let's go ahead and do trivia.
Okay.
I'm for it.
It's time for Amy's trivia. Can you hang? How big's your brain? It's time to play.
I like that wrestler, just so we all know.
What's our topic tonight?
Well, of course, it is the Royal Rumble because we are in Royal Rumble season. However, Stephanie, our producer, is the one that helped me pick which one because I asked her to give me a number and she told me 15 because that is what her granddaughter's number is. So therefore, we are looking at the 15th Royal Rumble event, which was Royal Rumble 2002. Got memories of that?
Royal Rumble 2002.
Yep. Do you remember where it was held? Was it Atlanta, New Orleans, Boston, or Miami?
I'm trying to think. Boston. I'm going Boston.
Anybody in the chat want to take a stab at it? I'll just go ahead and tell you he's wrong. So if you want to pick another, if you want to pick another different city than Boston. Ooh, Heather. Hey, Heather.
Heather and Allison have joined us.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? Heather jumped right in and got it right. It was Atlanta. And you know what? It was actually on January 20th, 2002. So literally 23 years ago, practically, almost to the day. So that's kind of neat. Next question. Oh, yep, Atlanta.
All right.
This is a little bit of a mouthful. So the winner of this 2002 Royal Rumble received a match, right, for the undisputed WWF Championship at WrestleMania 18. So we got this undisputed WWF Championship by unifying the WWF Championship belt and the WCW World Championship belt at what previous pay-per-view? Like I said, I know it's a mouthful. So you have Vengeance, No Way Out, Backlash, or Survivor Series. So they took those two belts and they unified them at a previous pay-per-view. And then that is what they were going to be going for. Because now they only had one belt.
Well, I was going to say, because I know that Jericho unified them.
Yes.
And
yes. It was a triple threat between Jericho.
I was gonna say Backlash, but Andrew Hermes said Vengeance, and I'm not going against Andrew Hermes.
That's probably wasn't.
He knows his shit. He knows his stuff.
Oh, you know, that's right, Andrew. Triple H was on that poster for Vengeance. It was Vengeance. Very correct. Good. And that was literally the pay-per-view the month before. So they had just unified them in December. And then we're on to the Royal Rumble. And again, right now, we only have one championship. Because, they like to go back and forth. And so then I think it was up until 2014 was when the next time we had two belts.
I don't like
down, so they could
I'm not a
go.
2-belt guy. I mean, to me, if you're going to be the guy, then you can't go 2 television shows a week.
Right.
I think it waters championship down. If you're the champion, then you're the champion. But I come from the territory days, and that's just, I've never been a fan of Raw having a champion and SmackDown having a champion. I mean, because you're not the world champion, you're the television show champion.
Yeah, that is kind of a weird. And Andrew, as always, the historian, that is right. It was Angle and Austin fought each other. Obviously, Austin won. Rock Jericho fought each other. Jericho won, and then Jericho went on to beat Austin. So that's why he says he beat Rock, he beat Austin. It wasn't a triple threat. I'm sorry. This is the way it was set up. So he had to beat both of them to actually become the undisputed champion.
I was so shocked when Jericho won that. I never in a million years thought that he would have been the guy to unify them.
It's kind of, I mean,
that's not disparaging. And that's not disparaging. He came from WCW, and I would have figured that something like that. I mean, I honestly thought that it would have been Triple H, but how are you going to discount Austin or Rock?
Right. And I think
for Jericho, I think that they put it on Jericho just to, let's screw with everybody, because they're not going to see it coming. And he was right. Never in a million years did you think that Jericho was going to beat The Rock and Austin in the same night to become champion.
I know. Andrew, how come he says they wanted it to be Angle up to the day of the show? Why did they change it? Do you know, Andrew? Why did they change it from Angle to Jericho? He'll let us know, suppose.
Yeah.
Oh, to be a surprise. Oh, was this the days of Vince Russo? It was a swab. Maybe so. All right, next question.
Hey.
Oh, yes.
Great joke. And it's
do you want to put it in the private chat and I'll tell you?
No, I heard it. And I'm going to say it because I try not to, I don't try to do anything political on here, but
true.
I heard that Donald Trump was going to put Vince Russo in charge of the wall down at the border.
Okay.
That way nobody would get over.
Ha ha ha. Ba-da-ba.
That popped me when I saw that on X yesterday, and that popped me. It really did.
That is funny. No one would call it, and the plan was always Triple H. And he was injured, correct, Andrew? No.
Madam Trivia, do you think you could win Eric Bischoff's money next week?
I do not. I'm very good at looking up and researching, but knowing this stuff off the top of my head, I don't think I'd be very good. But you never know. You never know. We'll have to see what happens. Who was the first entrant of this Royal Rumble? We got Matt Hardy, Rikishi, Edge, or Hurricane Helms. Ooh, Heather's quick. Were you at this Royal Rumble, Heather?
Heather Whitley says B.
Mm-hmm.
And she said it quick.
She did.
She really did. Yeah, I'm gonna go with it. I'm not going against Heather.
You shouldn't, because it was Rikishi.
Look at you.
Yay,
go, kid.
Very good. Like I said, she must have been there. She's like whipped out. Atlanta, Rikishi. She knows the answers. We like that. It was Mr. Rikishi. Next question, which we kind of have be interesting when you read it, but who won this Royal Rumble? Kurt Angle, Undertaker, Triple H, or Big Show?
Oh, I'm going to say Triple H because he got title shot at WrestleMania.
Very good. Yes, after we've been kind of talking about how it was really always for Triple H, except for he was out for an injury. Triple H is the answer.
You know, it had to kill him that he couldn't beat everybody on the same night.
He's a second undisputed champion. What was the winner's entrant number? So what was Triple H's entrant number into the Royal Rumble? 14?
Since he was coming off injury, I'm going to say it was D26.
Okay. Was it 14, 18, 22, or 26? What was Triple H's entrant number into the Royal Rumble?
Oh, yeah, the Beautiful Day music video. Andrew's right, because he said one of the biggest pops is when he returned to Madison Square Garden.
Oh,
Nobody does music videos like WWE.
No, that's very true. Or just anything. Just, vignettes, promos. Heather Whitley and Andrew both say 22, and you said 26?
Yep.
It was 22.
Well, I had my reason.
I know, no, but again, 22 is not 14. So, I mean, I think your logic was very sound. All right. 2 superstars had the most eliminations in the match with 7 apiece. One was The Undertaker. Who was the other?
I am such a child.
Was it Big Show, Rob Van Dam, Kane, or Stone Cold Steve Austin? Who was the other superstar who had 7 eliminations during this match?
I feel like Peter Griffin on The Family Guy. Duty.
Lord. Oh, my Lord.
2002, I'm going to say, man, I want to say Kane, but I bet it was the Big Show. I think that they were, had the bloom come off the Big Show by that point?
I don't think so. This is only 2002.
No, it was Stone Cold. Stone Cold showed out. Stone Cold showed out in that Royal Rumble. That was Stone Cold.
You saw Heather Whitley hit D, so you're like, I'm not.
No, I didn't. I wasn't looking over there, but
it was D. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I feel like we had just recently talked about that.
He had that in
Oh, you had that in last week's trivia.
No, that was another Royal Rumble.
Oh.
That was a different one. I'm sorry. I need to go take care of my dog.
Was that all of trivia? All right. Yes or no, did Triple H win his match at WrestleMania 18? I think we've already established that he did. Heather Whitley, I know a lot of useless information. What?
You watched a whole box of Bounce.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Must have fell in there.
Well, now you get to clean out the washing machine.
Yes or no? Did Triple H win his match at WrestleMania 18?
You missed it. I just got my ass chewed out on the air.
Oh, damn. I'm always missing.
She just brought me a handful of Bounce. I did a load of laundry, and I guess I washed a whole box of Bounce dryer sheets.
Oh, it fell in your washer?
I guess.
Oh, my Lord. Yuck.
It must have fell off into the wash machine, and I dumped the clothes on top of it. Bounce dryer sheets.
Who knew? I have to go back and watch that. I don't want to miss that. You getting chewed out.
It really wasn't chewed out. It was more like that look, you dumbass.
Right. Look what you just
did. But handed me all the dryer sheets.
That wasn't all of them.
No, that wasn't all of them.
Oh, so you all had got like the economy size, and now it's useless, basically.
I guess.
Way to go. Way to go. So yes or no? Did Triple H win his match?
Hey, I got a question for the next Ask Conrad on ad-free shows.
What?
Has the lovely Mrs. Thompson ever come in and chewed your ass out while you were broadcasting?
That'd be interesting. Be interesting to know.
Oh, goodness.
We've never seen it. It's definitely been edited out.
Anyway, I'm not editing nothing. That's why we do this live, because I don't want to edit. Heather probably could win Eric Bischoff's money, Efren.
I think so too. Could she be my phone a friend?
Oh, goodness.
Will that be an option? Phone a friend?
Is phone a friend an option?
I don't
We're going to
know.
find out all about win Eric Bischoff's money next Tuesday. Efren's going to be my guest host next Tuesday.
I know. How exciting.
Because Amy's got to get ready for the same trip I have to get ready for. She don't have 2 hours for us on Tuesday next week.
I got kids, I got a husband, I got all kinds of stuff I got going on at work. I need that time. I know, I'm sorry. But I mean, you couldn't ask for a better replacement than Efren to come on the show, right?
Right.
I mean,
We're going to have a good time. We're going to talk about the game of. We'll talk about the game event. We'll talk about win Eric Bischoff's money. We'll talk about his brand new game event belt that he got from Big Time Belts. Big Time Belts, Facebook.com. Join the group. High quality, low prices. Make your belt dreams come true with Big Time Belts. The game event belt. This was the concept art designed by JD Hoop. Tremendously talented artist. JD Hoop, I say often that he has talent on loan from God himself. He came up with this. Big Time Belts came up with the artwork. Here's the main plate without the spinner on it. Here's the side plates, the raw plates. Here they are painted on leather. There's the side plate. The ad-free shows plate. Look at that tooling. This belt is a little bit different than most of the belts that Muhammad Zubair does at Big Time Belts, because all he did was the plates. And we went to ringthebellbelts.com. My good friend Dan Comiskey. Dan did this beautiful purple leather with this green croc backing. And I'm telling you, I cannot wait to get this belt in my hands, because the pictures, I bet the pictures don't do it justice, and the pictures are pretty impressive. Big Time Belts took a concept, turned it into artwork with a very quick turnaround time. I think from start to finish, 8 weeks, maybe 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. It was really fast. Big Time Belts does very, very good leather work. I'm not disparaging their leather work, but Dan Comiskey does that little extra. It's the next step up. If you have a belt like a shop belt that you want to put on real leather, maybe you've got a wrestling belt that the leather's not very good on, ringthebellbelts.com. Dan Comiskey will get with you. He'll give you a fair price. He'll schedule you an appointment so he won't hold your belt for 6 to 9 months waiting for your turn to get your belt done. He'll tell you when he's going to do it. He'll do it. He'll share the process with you while he's doing it, and you will be extremely happy with the results. And I can't wait to hand Efren this belt in Huntsville and see his face when he gets to throw it over his shoulder and strut ass all around the Top Guy Rumble. Big Time Belts, Facebook.com. High quality, low prices, and we want to thank him for not only sponsoring our show, but for sponsoring our fantasy football, the Ram Network fantasy football belt, which I will be delivering to Amy to deliver to the winner of our league, Timmy C. And I'd like to congratulate him, but I'm not because I'm petty.
I get to see and hold both these belts this coming up, so I'm super excited.
Huntsville is the home to the internet guy in the strut that ass video, so it fits.
Lord, what you want to do now?
It's that time.
Pondwater rankings. David and Amy doing their thing. Our jars are the best. If it's only one jar, just give it a rest.
This week we are going to rank our favorite movies, and would like to remind you that the rankings. 5 jars means I can't recommend it enough. 1 jar is just, it is what it is. The 1 jar does not disparage what we're talking about. It's not like 1 jar is a movie that sucked. It's just that's where it's at on our scale. So we're going to rank them 1 through 5, and then we're going to share. Then we're going to share the one that then we're going to share our least favorite movie of all time.
Did you say that because of what my number 1 is?
No,
like that doesn't mean it's not good.
No. I just was explaining how we do it. I'm going to try one more time to have.
You already told me we were going to have some heated discussions on some of these.
We're not going to have graphics on our hated ones.
That's okay.
So let's start with Amy.
Mm-hmm.
Amy's 1 jar movie is Billy Madison.
I'm just not if you know me, you could probably guess, like I am just not that slapstick, farting, pulling your pants down, running around, Billy Madison kind of humor.
So you don't like this movie?
I do not like this movie.
Oh, you didn't understand the assignment.
No,
that's okay.
Sound like I did.
But that's okay.
But it's not bad, but it's just not. Now hold on, I gotta go let my dog.
It may be my least favorite Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah.
Hold on. It really didn't hit for me either. My 1 jar movie is The Iron Claw. I like the movie, but I don't need to see it again. It's a really good movie, but like if it's on television, I'm probably not going to stop down and watch it again. It's not because I didn't like it. It's a one and done for me. And it's in my top 5, but my next movie for 2 jars, Superman 2, with Christopher Reeve. This is the one where the General Zod and Ursula and I think I can't remember the third guy's name now. They escape the Phantom Zone.
Yeah.
Superman gives up his powers so he can be with Lois Lane. Then he finds out that there's 3 Kryptonian criminals. He's done messed up. I thought this, to me, out of all the Christopher Reeve Superman movies, was my favorite.
Okay.
And
no, I did not understand this assignment at all. But okay, I will try to do this again, maybe later.
No, that's okay. We're going to do the next topic that we do. Just remember that you like all of them, but it's like I said with Iron Claw, as my 1 star. I watched it. I loved it. It's not one that I'm good at. If it's on TV, I probably won't sit through it again.
Okay. Okay. I'll have to work on this.
So then Amy's 2 jar movie. Meg 2, The Trench.
Yeah. that was okay, Jason Statham. I probably would sit through this movie again specifically to watch him. No, I could do that. But it was kind of like Jump the Shark, ha ha ha, in a sense where it was just too much was going on and there's too many, you know, I don't know. There's just too much, you know, they got away from the shark and then now they're in the whatever underground or underwater city and it just I don't know. It just went on and on and on. So I wasn't
Efren said it before I could.
yes.
The
yes,
movie with the shark that jumped the shark.
pretty much.
If
I
it's not,
know.
the only shark movies that I want to watch anymore is Sharknado.
Just for the simple
We may have to
goofiness.
do our top 5 ranking our favorite Sharknado movies.
Oh Lord. Okay, I'll have to watch one to be able to tell you.
You've never seen Sharknado?
I've never watched Shark.
Did you ever watch?
I know the premises of it. I mean, I've
It's
seen like highlights.
it's stupid. It's silly slapstick, ha cameos.
Yes.
It's the Naked Gun with sharks. All right, my number with 3 jars. Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan.
That's
my-
a good one.
Favorite of the Star Trek movies. Ricardo Montalban returns as Khan Noonien Singh.
Mm-hmm.
I love when he hears that Kirk was an admiral. Admiral Kirk. This was such a good movie. Kirk and Spock have their little codes. They're screwing with Christy Alley. She can't figure them out, and it was a fun movie for me. Seeing Khan try to get Kirk, and Kirk can just one up him. When he destroyed the Enterprise,
Uh-huh.
the destroying the Enterprise upset me. Well, it wasn't destroyed; it was just beat up really bad. I ain't gonna lie. I saw this on Christmas. I saw this on Christmas night, the year that it came out. I want to say it might have been 82.
Uh-huh.
And hey, I cried when Spock died. But I'm a huge Star Trek fan. And Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan hits real hard for me, and that's why I gave it 3 stars. 3 jars.
I like it. I like what Efren is like. You're liking the sequels.
Amy's 3 jars. Tell us, Amy.
This is the cutest movie ever. Between the turtles, all the underwater creatures, you know, Nemo getting swept off and Dad having to go find them, but all the different characters you meet on the way. You got Dory, you got Bruce right there, the Hang 10 turtles. I just the pelican. You know, I just thought it was another shark movie.
Was the shark's name Bruce? For real?
Yeah.
You know that has to be a nod to Jaws. The shark they used in Jaws, they called him Bruce.
Really?
They named the shark Bruce.
I love it.
I didn't know that about Finding Nemo, but
because they go to a whatever Meat Eaters Anonymous. He's like, "Hello, my name is Bruce," and he talks about
that's
it.
definitely
That's cool.
a nod. That's definitely a nod to Steven Spielberg naming the mechanical shark Bruce.
I love it. Yes. Food or friend or fish or friends, not food. But it's just a very cute movie, lots of lessons, but the artwork and like I said, all the different characters that you meet on the way. I would definitely watch this again. It's definitely 3 jars. Mwah.
All right. 4 jars.
Ooh.
Rogue One, a Star Wars story. This is my favorite Star Wars movie, period.
Really? Now,
Yes.
which one is this in the realm of things?
This is a prequel
Okay.
This is a prequel to Episode 3, which would be the first Star Wars movie that came out in 1977. This is a prequel to A New Hope, where Rogue One ends, A New Hope begins.
Okay. Okay.
But it's kind of like Wicked. Have you seen Wicked?
No.
Ever?
No.
When you watch Wicked, it makes you know. I mean, like you grew up watching The Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
So,
I do know what a prequel is, if that helps.
yeah, I'm saying that as you watch it, you're like, oh, that's why that was that way. Oh,
Right.
that's why that was that way. Oh,
Yes. Yes.
that's why that was. And that's how Rogue One was.
Okay.
It made things in Chapter 3, A New Hope, make sense.
Gotcha.
And,
I like that.
and it was so yeah, I really loved it. It's a very sad movie. But I mean, it just really,
Because
it
they
really
all
shows,
die, right?
it shows the struggle and the sacrifices made by the rebellion trying
Yes.
to fight the Empire.
Yes.
It revolves around the plans of the Death Star.
Yes. 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 Okay. I have seen that.
So it's
Parts
a
of
really,
it anyway.
a really good movie. 4 jars. I will stop down and watch this. If I'm flicking channels and Rogue One's on, I'm in.
You're watching it. That's
Yes.
cool. Oh gosh, this is a great movie for all the wrong reasons. Have you ever seen Clerks 2?
I have not.
Oh my God.
And-
Yes, you would love it.
Oh, I love Jay and Silent Bob. Jay and Silent Bob Returns is a guilty pleasure.
Yes. Have you ever seen Clerks? The
I've
first
seen
one.
parts of it. I'm familiar. I can follow along.
Oh my God. Okay. Again, really good movie. Has anybody in the chat seen Clerks 2? Like I said, it's good for all the wrong reasons. I laugh, the things that they say, the things that they do. It is just, I will definitely stop and watch this movie just because of some of the antics that go on. It's just shocking, but makes me laugh. And
I'll have to check it out because I don't know
please
why I had
do.
never watched it because I love Jay and Silent Bob.
Oh, God. I'm taking it back. We're taking it back, Efren. Oh my God, that's so hysterical. Oh my goodness.
Andrew Hermes, Mallrats better than Clerks. I said what I said.
Andrew.
Terry Weaver, I was inspired by Mallrats in my senior will in high school.
Taking it back. Oh my God.
K-Dog, speaking of talented people with talent on loan from God, K-Dog 96, I've seen every Kevin Smith movie ever made. Clerks 2 is like in my top 3. Great pick, Amy.
It is. I mean.
Oh, Willie. Oh, you're cute, Willie. Dave just proved he's an elderly because he still flips channels.
But definitely, if you've not seen this, now there's a lot of sexual innuendo. I can't say the word innuendo. There's a lot of sexual innuendos. I don't think that's how I say it.
Pondwater Dave and Amy Elliott, you're still not reading my comments on Talking Wrestling with the Pondwater Dave there, and he looks like he's really pissed. Well, now I've read one of your comments, Willie.
Where? How did you see them? Anyway, there's a lot of things in this movie that you're going to be like, what? I mean, yes. And Clerks is even better. Oh, wait. Never mind. I can't talk about this on. Yeah, we're taking it back. Because there's one ring to rule them all. There's just so many great lines. I'm just telling you, it's just hilarious.
Well, speaking of great lines,
but you can't really talk a lot about it because it. Oh my God, pillow pants. Never get pillow pants.
Pickle.
Jesus. Like I said, these are the kind of things that are just, it's all, you've got Dave.
Well, I feel like I've missed out on something now, and I'm definitely gonna make sure that I watch it. And I don't know why I haven't, because
before you come to Huntsville. Try to squeeze it in.
I'll see what I can do.
It will.
Uh,
You will not regret it. I'm just telling you.
Speaking of movies with great lines, my 5-jar movie. I've probably seen this movie. If I say 1,000 times, I'm probably underdoing it. When it was in the movies, at the movies, I would go to the movies on Saturday at noon, and I would come home around 9 o'clock at night, and I would sit there and watch this movie over and over. Because back then, you buy a ticket, you stay in there all day. I went every
Really?
Saturday. I went every Saturday to watch Smokey and the Bandit. I know I saw it over 40 times in the theater. This is the greatest movie ever made. I love it. Burt Reynolds was my favorite. Jackie Gleason is incredible. This movie was written by Hal Needham, who is a famous stuntman. He was living in Burt Reynolds' pool house, and he wrote it, and he got Jackie Gleason on board. A lot of this movie was improvised.
Well, with that talent,
he
you
talked
can
Jackie Gleason. He talked Jackie Gleason into doing it, and Jackie Gleason would just say, Hal Needham says in his book that Jackie Gleason would say, hey, put that camera on me. I got something for you. And then he would just do it. This is my Rocky Horror Picture Show. I know the words. I start laughing every time before he says the shit that he says. Like at the end, that whole monologue at the end when they were leaving and they pass him.
Yeah.
And Burt Reynolds stops Big Enos and Little Enos's Cadillac at the top of the hill, and he goes, Sheriff Buford T. Justice, please. He goes, who that? He goes, this is Bandit Darville talking. Where are you, you some bitch? He goes, before I tell you where I am, Sheriff, I just want to tell you must be part coon dog, because I've been chased by the best of them. And son, you make them look like they're all running in slow motion. I just wanted to tell you that. He goes, well, thank you, Mr. Bandit. And as the pursuer, may I say you the goddamnedest pursuee I've ever pursued. Now that the mutual bullshit is over, where are you, you some bitch? I love this movie.
I wonder if anybody in the chat has seen it. Because what year did this come out?
1977, 78.
1977, 78.
It was so incredible. I loved it. I had the album, and the album would put little parts of the movie in it.
Oh,
some of
cool.
the funny stuff.
Well, now y'all have a movie if you haven't seen this one.
Oh my God, I can't imagine anybody. And what's funny is for years, the edited for television version would be played even when you could say the stuff that was in the movie on television. They wouldn't go back and play the unedited version.
Oh, that's funny. Like, we're still going to we've already done we spent all this money for it. We're just going to have to do it.
They just kept playing it, and I think at one point they had Jackie Gleason they edited it to Scumbum.
That sounds about right. Something that makes no sense.
But I just recently saw this week a TV clip. They had some kind of party for Burt Reynolds on television, and Jackie Gleason walks out dressed as Buford T. Justice and does a whole promo about I'm gonna catch you. I'm in hot pursuit.
How cute!
But it's my favorite movie. If
Really?
I was on a desert island and I could only watch one movie for the rest of my life,
That's
on
what you're
loop,
doing, huh?
it would be that one.
Well, Willie Buff's right there with you. He gonna be watching it too. Clark's too. I definitely this one right here. Like, you just can't. This to me, what just really opened like this whole new genre of movies where you had the end and you worked your way back. And everything about this movie was hilarious. I mean, just an absolute hysterical. You got your, brother. You got this guy who drugs them. Exactly. You've got, it's just every bit of it is just he's singing, "We're the three best friends that's ever have been." You know, like it's just this movie is just fantastic. Love watching it.
Oh, it's
Um,
hilarious. I've seen it. I would have slipped if I would have been part of that crew and the Hangover on that Vegas trip. Y'all know I'd have been asleep. I'd have passed
True.
out. But
Just waking up and all that stuff, and then like you said, having to go back and like trace your steps. And, and I mean, you can't beat that one scene with Mike Tyson knocking out Zach
yeah,
Galifianakis. I mean, just to the beat and it is just every bit of it is just awesome. And like I said, 5 yards would watch it, would recommend it. Again, language, like we just can't. But the way the movie was, like I said, starting at the end and working your way back or middle, I guess, because they still had to find the dude, but it was good. Now, Hangover 2 and 3, like you're getting a little, it's
sometimes
you're
it's
fine, but you're getting a little bit too much at that point, like sometimes too much of a good thing is not a good thing,
yeah.
But I love he lost his tooth, he got married. I mean, just to said, it's just he's got this baby now. Like I said, it's just all
We're gonna
great movie. Just a great movie.
I'm gonna try one more time
Okay.
to see if I can get this to load. For
Okay.
some reason, this PDF does not want to load.
Well, and honestly, it was a toss up between Hangover and Clerks 2. That's how much I enjoy both of them. You
Well, now that
know,
now that we've been positive,
Please, Lord, no. I would give 10 years off the end of my life to never see him do that again.
so Amy,
yes.
what movie would you give 10 years off the end of your life if you never had to see it again?
Pondwater, that movie, and I have a story that goes with it. Okay. That movie is the movie Ted.
I've never wanted to fight you more than I want to fight you right now.
But you need to hear the story.
I want
And
to.
I think you will understand why. It's just like, can't do it no more. So,
Because if you liked Clerks, and I can only imagine how Clerks was because I saw all the comments that everybody was making, and Jay and Silent Bob were in it.
Yes.
It's not far off from the same type of sophomoric humor.
Yes. So let me tell you what happened. And so my husband and I went to go. We had a date night. We went and saw this at the theater, and I was fine with it. I am honestly okay. I'm not a huge movie person. I don't watch a whole lot of television and movies like that. So, but my husband is like he really likes. Like he's all about the Star Wars. Uncross your arms, like you're like Huffy. Uncross them arms. I got a story I'm telling you.
I'm listening.
But so we went and it was all fine. It was getting ready to start. And then this family came in. And when I say family, I mean a dad and a mom and like like a 7-year-old and maybe a 5-year-old. And then I was like, okay. And they're sitting there, and okay.
Oh,
I'm hoping as I'm thinking, okay, we're doing the credits. I'm like, okay, please. I really think they've got, I can see them. I'm like, oh, I hope they got the wrong movie. Like there's a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old in this movie with us. Okay.
that's the same. I understand now because that's the same way I felt with the Attitude Era, with the nudity and the sex in front of the kids in the crowd. That's
yes.
I get okay.
So I was like, okay, Ted is a teddy bear. Like maybe, like again, I'm making excuses for these complete strangers, which, it was like, oh, maybe they'll realize it's not child friendly. Oh hell no. They were
No,
These
you don't know Seth
little
MacFarlane. You don't
kids.
see Seth MacFarlane's name on it and not know.
Well, I was trying, but I could not laugh. I could not find anything funny because all I could think about was, the bear humping or them talking about, fuck you, thunder or whatever. And this little 5-year-old listening to all that. And I just can't. Like every
Yeah.
time and again, it's just ingrained because of that experience with that movie.
So,
Sure, it's
so
fine.
you wouldn't enjoy this movie if you'd have watched it in the privacy of your own home?
I
I
don't
can
know
get
how
I
much
can get
I
how
would have
you probably wouldn't have liked it. It's really, I don't think the demographics not aiming for the
Right.
for the 30-something-year-old housewife.
I don't like overly like I don't mind a little bit of sex jokes or whatever, like some of the, but there's a lot in Ted anyway. Now, if I would have watched what? I've told that story before. I may have if someone ever brought that movie up, but but it's like honestly, from now on, every time I see that, that is what I'm thinking about is those two little kids sitting in there. And it just
I
it
get
really just pissed me off because that their parents are letting them watch that's just too much, for little kids.
all right.
And
Well,
I don't want to say, and they do understand. I don't want to hear parents bullshit. Well, they don't understand. Yes, they do. And so you're a bad parent. And I would, yes. And believe me, Sean was like, he knew I was pissed. Like he
well,
was like,
and
"Mom."
those kids are singing the Thunder song.
I mean, just why are you doing that to your why couldn't you have taken your 5 and 7-year-old to an appropriate movie? Like, I'm sorry you have kids and you couldn't go see Ted that you really wanted to go see. Like I said, I don't have sympathy. I'm very sorry, but that's just, I work with kids too. So, I mean, I just think I just can't get over it. So sorry.
My daughter put some kind of show on that. I think there was a nudity scene in it. And I mean, she's pushing 40, and I was just uncomfortable as hell with being in the room with, I don't want to watch that with my kids.
I do not like watching stuff like that with my parents. Like if we're sitting watching, I don't like it either. I get embarrassed. And I'm almost 50. So, what's your move? So now you at least understand.
I do understand. And mine is Cloverfield. Cloverfield came out in 2008.
Okay.
It's a movie by J.J. Abrams.
Okay.
There's a
like
creature. In the trailer, you saw the Statue of Liberty's head come rolling down Broadway.
Oh, okay.
Because the creature knocked the statue. Basically, the city's under attack.
Okay.
You never see the creature.
Never?
The view of this movie is through a camcorder. So when the
Okay.
person is running, you're watching this jerky video because it's all first person from the person carrying this camcorder, which, by the way, has a battery that can last all night.
Oh.
But I was on a first date. I'd met somebody and it was our first date.
Uh-huh.
I guess our second. We had lunch to meet in person. And then our first date, our official date, we're going to, so hey, let's go see this movie. And we both agreed it looked like it might be pretty good.
Right.
And it wasn't.
It wasn't.
It wasn't.
Did you get like motion sickness watching it? Like I could,
it was horrible. And we should have just got up and walked out. And I think that's why I'm so aggravated about it, is because if it wouldn't have been a first date, I probably would have said, hey, let's get up and go.
Yeah. Because you didn't know, like, if.
But I mean, the fact that there was a second date after this, going to see this horrible movie, there was nothing enjoyable about it to me. I've heard people think it's a masterpiece. I don't.
Well, let me ask you this: Did you ever see the Blair Witch Project?
I've seen clips of it, but that being said, I don't like horror movies.
Okay. That's one of those movies.
I kind of felt like Cloverfield was going to be in the Godzilla King Kong genre, the Jurassic part genre.
Yeah.
I don't like horror movies. And right? Efren said he had a headache for 2 days after that movie.
I bet.
It was not a good movie. But I don't. I mean, I know that. I know the how the Blair Witch Project was done,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have a problem with that kind of cinematography.
Right.
But this was just bad. But I've never sat through the Blair Witch Project because I don't like horror movies.
Right. It's not it is a horror movie, but it's more of a suspenseful. But I wouldn't be watching that more than once either. I mean, but I'm just saying it just seemed like I feel like the Blair Witch Project was also one of those things that was like a new type of movie, and then you saw several movies that kind of came out that had that kind of that same.
Cinemax had a late night parody of it called the Blair Witch Project.
But you know what? You're right, Efren. Like it really does take you back because the way that they prefaced it is that they found this recorder, and so you're watching it back, and then you see, you know what I mean? So it was very freaky. I totally agree with you. That was a wild movie. But then I feel like we saw more movies after that that came from that cinematography, you know, like that angle of
because
whatever.
because Cloverfield exists. The Ring is not the worst movie I've ever seen.
I don't think I've seen The Ring. See, I don't really like a lot of horror movies. My kids love for me to watch scary movies with them.
Cinemax After Dark. Hated it.
And I've seen The Conjurings, but I don't really care for The Ring. I don't care for any of that stuff where they're like all like run up on you. I don't like all that.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't jump up out of you. I don't like.
There's
I don't
movies
like
that things jump out at you and I don't like that. Stephanie gets so tickled when I get startled in a movie.
Yeah, I don't
want to be startled anymore. I don't
know
why.
Either.
I mean, and I grew up going to horror movies, man. I like the Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. To me, the original Halloween is still one of the best horror movies I've ever seen. The Exorcist, I read the book. I could not sit through the movie.
The movie was pretty brutal. Well, I tell you what, with Michael Myers, he was always in the distance. You always saw him. He wasn't like, you know, that's why we don't like those movies.
But that last 15 minutes of Halloween where he was in the house with her, and
yeah,
I mean, it was that whole thing because
I do think Halloween is definitely that's a great.
But I'm gonna tell you, I was excited for that last Halloween movie with Jamie Lee Curtis. And I put it on to start watching it, and I was like, nope. And I went to Google and I went Halloween spoilers, and I read it to see without having to watch the movie because I just want to know how it went.
Is it like the very last one, or
Yeah.
like didn't they do one 20 years later or something?
They've done one more since then.
I'm trying to think. I'm like you. I'm not a huge like scary or like super suspenseful. I will never watch Saw. I don't need things that could really happen. You know what I mean? Like just there's too. I read too many crime stories and listen to too many crime podcasts. Like I know there are crazy people in this world. I don't need to have anybody. I don't need it to be thought of like, door A or door B, saw off your arm or it's just no, I just don't want to do any of that stuff.
Well,
let me watch Clerks and Clerks 2. I do like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I mean,
that's why I was telling you the Sharknado movies.
Yes.
Have all those cameos in them.
Yes.
Much like Jay and Silent Bob.
Yes. Oh,
that's
definitely.
what they would call what they used to call back in the day a studio movie.
Mm-hmm.
Where they had all these cameos, like Cannonball Run.
Okay.
Like Cannonball Run is probably my second favorite Burt Reynolds movie. Because it just had it was star-packed.
Right.
Star-packed movie. But Terry Bradshaw was in it, and it
and like you said, the premise of Jay and Silent Bob is to go to Hollywood and stop the Jay and Silent Bob movie, which they called it something else. from being made. Oh, what is it?
And Chronic.
Blunt Man and Chronic. Yeah, to stop that from being made. He's like, what the fuck is the internet? Just all that. He's just like, what the?
And then
fuck
when they
is
got
the
their
internet?
money, they
Oh.
hired Morris Day in the Time.
Exactly. And Mark Hamill. I mean, it's just. I mean, like you said, it's just.
It's such a fun
Jay
movie.
is just like, what the fuck? You know, he's just like, what the fuck is the internet? He's gonna go beat all these people up. Oh Lord.
But if we ever talk
Hilarious.
about songs that you could listen to on repeat, Jungle Love. Man, I spent so many hours trying to do that dance, to do the dance moves like Morris Day,
Uh-huh.
and I can't.
You just can, huh?
I'm very rhythmically challenged.
It's okay. Fred. Jeez. What are we gonna do with you?
You know, I
Crazy.
recently heard that Burt Reynolds was ashamed of Boogie Nights.
Huh.
He didn't like it.
His portrayal or just the movie in general? He didn't like
He
his
didn't like
part?
that he was in it.
Did he have to do it for money? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know,
Hey,
man.
Mike.
I just recently heard that.
Huh. Well, I mean, I wonder if he thought, I don't know. That's an interesting movie. I mean, if we're going to be honest, I mean, that's a weird
I didn't hate Boogie Nights.
roller girl or whatever. It was weird, but I think that was probably,
It was supposed to be.
well,
It
I
was
mean,
the-
I'm saying
It was the Goodfellas. It was the Goodfellas of the porn industry.
well, that's what I mean is that, I mean, that probably was,
It started out
Liking
fun.
what
It
was
started
going
out
on.
fun, and then it took a dark turn.
yeah.
Goodfellas was the same way. It was kind of fun, and then it wasn't.
Am I here to amuse you? Am I like a clown?
All right.
What?
TNA top 10 this week.
Yes. I will be assuming, which is a huge assumption, but I know they're going to be talking about that championship game.
Oh yeah.
I was really pulling for Notre Dame. I really wanted them to do it. They didn't get shut out, so I mean, you know, but they took a beating. I mean,
Notre Dame-
Ohio State looked like champions.
Well,
They
Notre
really
Dame
did.
proved that they didn't have no business being there.
I
That's
don't know
what
if
they
they
do.
proved that they had no business being
They
there.
never show up. I'm surprised they got past first round.
Really? I don't know.
I don't like Notre Dame, but I hate the Ohio State.
Yeah.
The eye roll Ohio State. I did not want to watch that game. There's nothing about it.
I remember you saying that you had to watch it under duress. No.
Well, I mean, I could have gone in the other room and watched wrestling, but I'm trying
Right.
to spend time with my wife.
That's very nice of you.
I like being in her orbit.
I bet.
So I sat in my chair and fell asleep, and the winter dogs crawled all over me.
I saw the
And
pictures.
yeah, I know. And then she takes pictures.
Well, no, because I was asking you questions in the chat, and she's like, this is his current state. So just so you know, he's not trying to ignore you.
OSU God's college football team. I don't know
Hey.
about all that, but it damn sure ain't Notre Dame.
Well, who do you think should have been there? Because I'm telling you, I don't think anybody, the Ohio State team that played Monday night, there's nobody out there that could have beat them.
They're a damn good football team.
Yeah. But like I said, the one that played Monday.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you they're not a good football team,
Right. Was
but I mean,
they deserve to be the
I
champion.
thought Oregon was going to. I can't believe that Oregon got beat as bad as they got beat.
Exactly. They did. They got beat. It'd be interesting. Well, the guys always bring a lot
But
to the
OSU, but Ohio State they need to sit down and write a thank you note. Dear Coach Saban, congratulations on your Hall of Fame induction. You really deserve it, and we want to thank you for retiring, so somebody else could have a turn. Because we weren't ever going to win it while you were still involved with the sport.
Well,
Love, bitch ass Ohio State. The bitch ass Ohio State.
but I'm sure the guys over and well, it's
And the hell of it is I hate Ohio State back to when Urban Meyer was the coach.
Yes. Oh,
They
I
just
know.
got residual heat with me because Urban Meyer was there.
Wasn't he Urban Meyer's assistant though? So I mean, is it kind of like a? Was it? What's his name? Ryan Day. I think he was. But what I was going to say is that Terry and Andrew, I know they will give us lots of good quality information about the matchup and the actual championship game. I don't know if they'll talk anymore. They don't usually talk NFL, so they might just give us a lot about the Ohio State Notre Dame game. I don't
Those
know.
boys they do a great job on that show.
They do. I
And
love listening to it.
Allison keeps them in line.
Oh, bless her heart.
TNA Top 10. They normally record. They go live and record on Facebook, and then you can catch them on Apple or wherever you get your podcasts.
I think they were taking a well-deserved break because usually they go Monday, but obviously with the game, they didn't, record. I think they're recording Thursday, if I remember hearing correctly.
And the Ram Network, we mentioned it, now only $1.
Yes.
We're reconfiguring how we're doing things over on the Ram Network. Trying to figure out, Patreon won't let you do it for free.
Right.
So $1, world-class flashback, footballers, eras, the new generation.
I know FFP is
Wrestling
being
Rewind.
repackaged, and I think it should be happening soon.
I saw they posted.
Yeah, I saw the design.
They just put the image up there.
Mm-hmm.
So I still don't know if we can talk about it.
No, I don't know either, so I'm not going
So
to.
we're not. I actually will be in Fountain Hill, Arkansas this weekend.
Sure you will.
I was almost there. I was almost there last weekend. But unfortunately, speaking of last weekend, I'm trying to wrap this thing up, but I feel like I need to share my most religious eating experience that I probably ever had in my life.
Interesting.
This past Sunday, the Cousins Maine Lobster food truck made its way to Vicksburg, Mississippi.
Really?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
And as soon as church was over, I mean, he said amen, and I was on my way. And I had the garlic butter lobster roll.
Ooh.
And I had the butter and lemon one, which was just as good. Efren says Drunken Pop's been announced with their new logo, so we'll get to them in a minute.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, I go to the food truck and I order the garlic butter lobster roll. I order the butter and lemon lobster roll. I got me a cup of clam chowder and I got a side of tater tots.
Uh-huh.
Man, I'm telling you, that was, and they got these New England rolls that
And
are
this
buttered.
is a food truck? Is that what you said?
Yeah, they were on Shark Tank.
Okay.
They have a chain of these. This one, like you go to their app and like they're out, and you choose the city and it'll tell where the schedules that they are.
Oh.
The food truck that comes down here is out of Nashville. So I would imagine that you probably get it out of Nashville as well.
Okay.
But they were on Shark Tank, and I think Lori Grenier probably bought in with them.
Uh-huh.
But they take this lobster all around the country. I had it a few years ago in Arlington, Texas, when we went to a Christmas thing called Enchanted.
Okay.
And they had food trucks out there, and that's the first time I'd had them. I had a really good lobster roll in Pensacola last year. Conrad took me to a really nice oyster bar.
Yeah.
And the lobster roll was a special of the day. And me and Jeff Jewett had lobster rolls, and it was excellent. This was tremendous. But that garlic butter is life. I can't wait to have it again. And they ship nationwide, too. You can order from them. But
I did not know any of this.
But they've been on Master Chef. They've been on CNBC.
Okay.
But they got, it was an idea from Shark Tank. These two guys have launched this nationwide food truck and it's
It sounds pretty darn good.
hey, look, lobster's decadence.
Right.
It's decadence, and I ate like a king Sunday.
A lobster roll sounds really good.
I ate 2 of them, and they're $23 for a lobster roll. For $26, you can get the combo, which is a lobster roll, the tater tots, and a drink. Their tater tots are very good, but they also have like a lobster grilled cheese sandwich, lobster quesadilla,
Oh, that sounds good.
a lobster bisque.
Well, so how much was the clam chowder? How much money did you spend?
I want to
Just
say
on you. What did
on
Stephanie
me
get?
like $65.
What did Stephanie get? Or
Stephanie
she
doesn't eat lobster.
Oh, how come? She don't like
She don't
it?
like
Is
it.
she allergic?
It's a texture
Oh,
deal. No texture.
yeah, I understand that.
But her parents went with us, and they had lobster roll.
Interesting. Well, I mean, for
But I was sitting there
$23,
watching.
it was that good.
They don't take cash. You can order ahead on the app.
Uh-huh.
But $23 for a lobster roll is not bad, because it was $25 at that restaurant in Pensacola. So
Right.
I mean, I think they were 18 a few years ago. The first time we had them, my son-in-law had just started dating my daughter, and we went with them, and he actually jumped up there and bought mine, and I didn't like it because I don't like my kids buying me dinner.
Oh.
But anyway, I wanted to brag about the lobster, and but there will be no lobster in Fountain Hill, Arkansas, but there will be great wrestling.
There could be. You may not want to eat it though. No. There may be some.
I try to tell my wife it's just bougie crawfish.
Oh, like crawfish. Ugh.
But no. So if you're in Arkansas, come on out and see us. BIW puts on a great show.
Definitely. I've been.
This
It's a
Saturday
very
night-
good show.
This Saturday night, and be sure to join us next week. Amy won't be with us, but we're going to have Efren. We may have another guest on with us. We're going to preview the Royal Rumble. We're going to have all kinds of fun. We're going to unveil the game event belt.
So nice.
We're
That's gonna be
probably
nice.
maybe we'll get the guy that put my friend Dan will maybe that put the belt together and put it on leather. Might get him on.
Oh, awesome.
We're going to have, but a good time's going to be had by all next Tuesday on Talking Wrestling. For the First Lady of the Arn Anderson Fan Club, I'm Pondwater Dave. Thank you for joining us tonight. Take care, everybody.